Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday. The S&P 500 was down almost 1.9% today. Halloween today, got a red shirt day. It's kind of ironic, actually. What's interesting to me, just thinking about this, it's not surprising that the market's down, even in the middle of, I think, some pretty good earnings. What is surprising is how well the market has held up in this 60-day run-up to the election. If you look back over the last, five elections, the market was negative in the 60 days prior to the election. We might get there again. We'll see what happens here. We've got a little bit ways to go before the election, but we've been holding up really well. September, we were hitting all-time highs. Things that, in my experience, don't normally happen. Now, we did have something unusual happen in the fact that they cut rates by half a point in the middle of September, so that obviously helped as far as that goes. So, the market got overexcited about rate cuts. Good data is coming in, which I think long-term is much more important. And that, means maybe we don't have as many rate cuts. The market has to adjust for that. You get earnings that come in. It's been fascinating. This is always the way it is. I find this very interesting. Number one, look at Apple today. So Apple, after hours, announces their earnings. They did well. They beat their estimates. And they did really well in their iPhone sales compared to what the expectations were, but they missed on China sales, and the stock drops as far as that goes. And it's the same thing. Meta and Microsoft yesterday both had, I thought, good earnings. Both beat their expectations. They both had forward guidance that the market didn't like as much. And so when the market's in, kind of a bad season or a bad mood, it just locks in on those negatives, and we have a little sell off. When the market's in a good mood, we don't even hear about China's miss from Apple because they are excited about the iPhone sales. This is kind of how it goes. So you need to kind of just step back a little bit here. I believe, again, if you're going to have a good run at the end of the year, like we normally do after an election, it's not a bad thing to have a little pop to the downside to give kind of some buying, opportunities for people that are looking for certain price points that they'd like to get in. And again, this is an election that's close, and so people are going to wait until the election's over and there's a declared winner for Congress itself, the House and the Senate. That's important to the market also, and then of course who's in the White House. So too close to tell at the moment. So money's going to hold back, and then hopefully it'll rush in November. And again, yesterday, I mentioned that November kicks off the share buyback programs at about $6 billion a day in buybacks that these companies can do. It's a lot of cash flow coming into the market. And again, November is a good seasonal month anyway. So don't be too concerned here. Don't be too surprised if it doesn't come down a little bit more before the election. That's okay. Again, if we want to get to a new all-time high, sometimes you got to back up and get people going and get people, excited about that price, and then we get some run, you get the short covering that comes in, starts to pop the market, and then a bunch of people start jumping in because they don't want to miss out on this particular run that happens next. So anything can happen. The market could fall apart. This could be the beginning of a downturn. We'll deal with that when it happens. But if we look at the economy, again, gross domestic product up, 2.8%, which is fantastic. Consumers doing well in terms of their spending and what have you too. So earnings are continuing to, beat expectations. You're not going to have a market in most cases that's going to really fall apart here unless there's something very unusual that happens. So, but let's wait and see what happens for the election, see what happens after. Look forward to seeing what's going to happen tomorrow. Again, we have our show tomorrow, Talk Money with Tom on YouTube from 12:15 to 1 Pacific time. It's a live show. You can join us and ask questions or watch, the summary that I do at the beginning of what happened for the market for the week. Look forward to seeing you then. Thank you very much.